At the beginning of the film, we see an athlete showing her program on skis. Molly recalls that not long ago, a survey was conducted among athletes about the worst thing that could happen to them. Someone named fourth place or lost several times in a row. Molly tells that she is currently ranked third in the country in mogul. In her story, the woman promises to change names and some details so as not to hurt anyone. Molly graduated from the university with honors and has been snow skiing for 16 years. Her main coach was her father. At the age of 12, Molly complained to him about back pain during a training session, but the man told her to continue. Soon, the girl was taken away in an ambulance and developed degenerative scoliosis, curving her back 63 degrees. Molly survives a difficult operation and, a year later, is back on skis. Now the woman plans to win competitions to go to the Olympics. After that, Molly plans to attend Harvard and start her own firm and foundation for entrepreneurs. The woman approaches the starting line and mentally determines her trajectory. Like a professional, Molly's skis are fixed to her boots by a 15th value, making her almost fuse to them. During competitions, the snow is usually sprinkled with small branches. However, Molly hits a huge bow just before her second jump. One ski flies off her foot, and the woman lands on her already previously injured spine. Molly says she tells this story for those who think the worst thing in sports is fourth place. 12 years pass. Molly wakes up to a phone call, and the police arrest her for organizing an underground gambling business. The action is transferred back in time again. After being injured in a competition, Molly decides to take some time off before entering Harvard and goes to a friend's house in Los Angeles. The woman takes a job at a nice club where she brings drinks to the guests, forcing them to spend more than they intended. It is there that Molly meets Dean, who gets her a job as his secretary. One day, a man gives an unusual assignment. Dean is going to organize an underground game with 9 very rich people. Molly organizes everything in the room designated for the game and meets the guests. In an $80 dress, the woman meets the rich people and takes envelopes with $10,000 from them. During the game, Molly Googles all the unknown words and sometimes flirts with player X. At the end of the game, Dean says that if the players want to come again, they should leave his assistant a tip. Molly makes $3,000. In the present time, a woman is out of custody with the help of bail. It's been 2 years since Molly is done with the gambling business that she continues in New York after Los Angeles. The woman asks lawyer Charlie for help. The man asks why Molly mentioned gambling celebrities in her book, but left out the Russian mafia she was involved with. Charlie agrees to accompany the woman to the court hearing. The woman recalls that her father, who works as a psychiatrist, always thought that everyone in the family should stand out in sports and study. After the first game arranged by Dean, Molly decides to wait for entrance to Harvard. The woman continues to help organize games and receives generous tips. Molly learns about the term fish. It's a person who has a lot of money but is an average player. Player X loves to cheat such personalities, and the woman has to find them because she doesn't want the games to end. Molly continues to involve celebrities and famous personalities in Dean's underground game. The woman buys a car and a flat, and again decides to wait on Harvard. In the present time, Charlie accompanies Molly to a court hearing. Initially, the man doesn't intend to be her lawyer, but then changes his mind, as his perception of Molly, obtained from the newspapers, turns out to be distorted. The woman recalls that she was an excellent student and a good skier, but at home, she was overshadowed by her more talented brothers. Molly often provoked her father, not wanting to obey his strict orders. Together with Dean, the woman leads the game for about 3 years. However, at one moment there is a strong quarrel between them. Molly decides to act radically. She uses her savings to rent an expensive suite, hire a bartender, and set up a gambling table. Dean fires Molly, and she gives his new assistant the wrong player numbers. On the real phones, the woman sends messages that the game is being moved to the hotel. Molly tells the players that she is now working without Dean. The woman's casino lives on tips. Molly doesn't take a percentage of the bets, and the lawyer says it's legal to do so in this case. Player X asks the woman to look for a new fish to play. Molly finds a bad Brett. The man is a terrible gambler and loses $100,000 every week. Molly tries to talk some sense into Brett because she feels sorry for him. However, the man asks not to give up his place because he has no friends and also because he just likes to play. Later, Molly learns that Brett's behavior and gambling attract rich clients. In real time, Charlie continues to talk to the woman. The man guesses that in her book, Molly has only given out names that Brett has already given out. Most likely, Hollywood wants more details. That's why Molly is being prosecuted. Charlie wants to examine the woman's correspondences with the players, but she resists. Molly says that some things in there could ruin other people's lives. Charlie gives the woman his phone, which contains dirt on his clients. The man says that Molly has the right to release this data if he himself makes public the secrets found in her correspondence. The woman remembers Harlan. The man always played poker very wisely and won large sums. Even player X lost to him. However, one day Harlan loses to Brett, thinking he is a good player. The man loses his temper, realizing that Brett didn't have the cards he needed to win. After this, Harlan plays hysterically and loses about $1 million. The man gives Molly a check a couple of days later. Talking to player X, the woman learns that he was the one who loaned Harlan the money in exchange for receiving a percentage of his winnings. Molly quarrels with the guy. This turns out to be fatal because player X poaches all the players to himself and organizes the game without Molly. After that, the woman moves to New York. With the help of several girls, Molly tells everyone at a charity event about the future game with stakes of $250,000. This event begins to be talked about at gambling tables in different countries. Molly creates an incredible community and continues to make good money without making the business illegal. The woman also starts using illegal substances. One of Molly's colleagues, B, advises her to start taking a percentage from the bets, because otherwise their business becomes shaky and can simply collapse. During one of the games, 2 weeks later, Molly realizes that the stakes are rising. However, many players may not be able to pay the debt, in which case Molly, who doesn't have the money, will be responsible for repaying the winnings. The woman gives a sign to B, and she counts out 2% of the bet and then removes them as chips from the table. From then on, Molly begins to break the law. After the game, she often lingers with Downey, who likes to drink. After getting drunk, the man is eager to tell Molly about his marriage. Also from Downey, the woman learns about the Russians, who lose a lot but are not particularly upset. Molly promises to forgive the debt if the man will bring such players to her. Soon, Ilya, Alexei, Mark, and Shelby arrive at the woman's table, the last of whom brings a $7 million original Monet as collateral. Molly asks him to remove the painting and gives him a loan of $1.5 million. As expected, the Russians bring a lot of money and leave it in the casino. Molly says that nothing betrayed them as being from a major criminal gang. From the lawyer, the woman learns that Charlie failed to convince the judge that she was just an employee. The man hopes that Molly will become a talkative witness and rat those Russians out to the court. Charlie is sure they should definitely bargain with the prosecution for a lighter sentence. Molly says she will tell the court everything they want to know about her, but not about other people. In the past, a woman felt increasingly devastated. Brett is arrested for financial fraud, and, working with the FBI, he tells them about the underground casino. Molly testifies and confirms the names of the people Brett gambled with. Instead of a trial, the woman pays out money to the victims of Brett's machinations. Molly becomes increasingly dependent on substances and behaves withdrawn. One day, Downey starts actively professing his love to the woman. Molly says that to all the players, she is the anti-wife who allows drinking, gambling, and chatting with beautiful girls. The woman also believes she is like Circe from Greek myths, who turned men into pigs. Molly meets representatives of the Italian mafia, who offer to roof her business and protect her from debtors. However, the woman politely declines and leaves. Soon Molly is visited, cruelly beaten, and her savings taken away. For 2 weeks, the woman doesn't leave the room, but finally wants to organize a new game to close the debts. After that, Molly intends to stop the business. However, on the day of the game, the hotel is raided by the FBI. Molly takes a taxi to the airport and sees that all the money has been debited from her accounts. Together with Charlie, she tells the prosecutors about it. The man zealously stands up for Molly and says that the lady, having a lot of dirt and the opportunity to earn money by blackmail, didn't behave like that. Charlie thinks that the woman is in no way connected with the mafia and that it is foolish to question her about it. The man is left alone with prosecutors and makes an appointment with Molly for the evening. While waiting for it, the woman goes to the skating rink, where she accidentally meets her father. The man says that he has always loved Molly, but was ashamed that as a child, she saw him cheat on his wife. The woman hugs her father and then goes to Charlie. The man says that Molly is ready to be exonerated and give her back the $5 million in exchange for all of her hard drive data. The woman flatly refuses, saying she doesn't want to tarnish her name and ruin other people's lives. During the trial, Molly publicly admits her guilt. To her surprise, the judge rejects the measures proposed by the prosecution and considers that the woman has not committed anything for which she is offered such a sentence. The man sentences Molly to correctional labor and a fine. The woman celebrates her release with her brothers and father. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.